Well, how do there, people? Welcome back to my Back to Basics guide. Last time we covered off hazard protection. This time I'm going to be covering off life support. So the life support system is right here. And as you can see, it can be recharged with quite a fair few things. Oxygen, life support gel, or deoxide. Well, deoxide you can only find on the frost crystal planets, the frost biomes. But firstly, what actually reduces your actual life support system? Just running decreases it by 2 little arrows, you see there. Now walking will do it by 1, but sprinting does it by 2. And check out jetpack. When you initiate your jetpack, it goes down by ×3. So now you know what's going to be draining your life support systems. So any sort of things that are outside your normal remit of walking is going to drain on your resources. Now if you're on an airless planet or dead planet, sometimes this can even reduce it even more. Or during a storm, sometimes it can reduce it more as well. Or the more extreme the planet, the quicker that bar is going to decrease. So keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on that bar, because that's your life support. Heck yes, you can't actually dismantle your life support, which is a good thing. Yeah. Now, to recharge it, you're looking for oxygen plants, denoted by red little icons with O2 on, if you are for oxygen. So now I've grabbed some oxygen, I can recharge it from the quick menu just by going down on the D-pad and then selecting it and recharging it. Or I can press the trackpad to bring up the main menu inside of my exosuit and recharge it that way. I need to use a little, so let's use my jetpack because we know that's ×3. Yeah, there we go. We've used a teeny amount. But if I go over to my exosuit now, I can just pick up the oxygen and drop it on my life support. Boom. It's recharged. Yeah, so you can do it that way as well if you want. So lovely jubbly. That's done. I tend to use the quick menu a heck of a lot because I can even do it while I'm running as well. Yeah, you can also install an extra bit of tech. And you've got this right from the word go. So the blueprint for this already exists. And you only need a small amount of oxygen to get it installed. And it's going to give you an extra 10% uplift to your life support, which is great. Anything that you can install at the moment, fantabadozy. Heck yes. But I haven't actually, although I've put it in, I haven't actually activated it yet because I haven't got enough oxygen. So I've just used my scanner to find some more oxygen. So I'm just going to go and pick up that oxygen plant and consume it and, well, just pick up the resources to add to my total amount of oxygen. Now, there are other plants that give you oxygen on the side of the planet. Now, to find those, I would strongly suggest installing the analysis visor. You know when we've seen sort of, you know, the stuff in caves or whatever, and it's come up with question marks on a secondary sort of element. This, if you scan that object, is going to give you the secondary element anyway. But you can see that one hasn't got a secondary element, but I'm going to blast it to Kingdom Come. There we go, and we've got some carbon from that one. This one has. You see it's got the question marks underneath. That has got a secondary element. If I was to pop that, as well as getting carbon, after I've scanned it that is, I'd get something secondary too. And sometimes you can use that stuff to up your hazard protection. If I was on a frost crystal planet, you may have got deoxide, which you could use in your life support. This, because it's a toxic weld, it may give me something I might be able to use in my hazard protection, but we shall see. Righto, so now I've got enough to make myself a carbon nanotube. So let's make that carbon nanotube, and we're going to be putting it into our multi-tool. So inside of the analysis visor, there we go, it's now done. We can now use the analysis visor by using L2. And that's going to give us some sort of bat sense. Yes, you can actually scan things now by holding L2 and holding R2. Yeah, to scan. Now I've scanned that plant. Fantastic. Now if I was to scan one that's got secondary element, it's going to pick up the secondary element. In this case, fungal of the mold. Now, if that secondary element was ammonia rather than fungal mold, then yes, I could have used it to top up my hazard protection. But I'm using the analysis visor to search for hazardous flora, denoted by this exclamation mark. Now, in the centre of this one, you could, if you're very stealthy, manage to nick the little ball in the middle of it, and that gives you oxygen. But just zapping it to oblivion also gives you oxygen. These pumpy plants, time it right after it's exploded, run in and you can grab a couple of pods. They're also going to give you oxygen. After you've managed to get all 3 of those pods from this actual plant, you can then zap said plant into oblivion and get even more oxygen. Yes, so hazardous flora hunting is a very good way to get yourself a lot of oxygen once you get good at it. So yes, hunt down hazardous flora for oxygen and you can use that to top up your hazard protection. However, making a life support gel will completely recharge your your life support bar completely, which is awesome. So we want to be able to make those. Now to make them, we need dihydrogen jelly. To make dihydrogen jelly, you're going to need this dihydrogen crystal. So find it by looking for the blue marker, just by using your scanner, not by using your analysis visor, to find these little blue H's. And once you find them, you get all these blue crystals, zappity-da-zap, and into your exosuit they go. Just ferret all this up, yes, hoover, vacuum it up, or whatever you want to call it. Lovely, we've scuttled all of those into our exosuit. There's another batch there. Take that, dihydrogen crystals, nice. There's also some yellow crystals there, but you need an advanced mining laser for them, so we won't worry about them. And I've picked up some more oxygen. Now, I did need to use the carbon to craft the actual gels. Yeah, I recharged up my laser, so I'm going to have to go punch some more bushes or zap some into oblivion to get the carbon that we need. So let's find some more carbon bushes. There's a carbon bush. Take that, carbon bush. Heck yes, kaboom! We've got ourselves some more carbon, and we're going to zap that one too. Ooh, and that one's got an analysis. I could have analysed that one before I zapped it. Whoopsie. Alright, well, let's just blast this one to oblivion. I think we've probably got enough carbon now, but we'll just grab another one just to be sure. Kaboom! You're gone. Oh, we got nitrogen off the back of that one. Alright, what about you? Let's scan you, bush. That one hasn't got a secondary element, but we may as well scan it to get a couple of units. So that's another thing. Scanning stuff gets you units. Yes, it does. Heck yes. Awesome. And scanning all the animals on the planet, in fact, if you scan every single one, you can actually get yourself a bag of nanites. But we'll get to nanites in a later guide. Now I can craft the life support gel. So we've got life support gel and ion batteries. They fully charge your life support and your hazard protection. So yes, you need to be crafting those in quite an abundance rate because they're perfectly good for exploring planets in swaves. Now we did actually get those jade beads as well that actually top up our life support. So we found those on the actual planet. But putting these two bits of tech next to each other, that also gives an adjacency sort of boost, which may help with your life support too. So here we go. Let's see what else we can do. Right, so that's flashing because we need to make the metal plating to fix our ship. We're not going to worry about that. So there's also plants on the planet's surface that can top up your hazard protection and your life support. Now we've got the analysis visor in, you can see it by this sort of icon that I've just highlighted there. Now that's heptaloid wheat, and I'm fairly sure that tops up my hazard protection, not my life support. But we also know that the jade beads, if I eat those, it tops up my life support. So depending on what plant you pick up, depends on what it's going to top up. And depending on what planet you start on, you're going to find different types of these plants. What I would say is grab them and eat them because they're going to do one or the other. They're going to upgrade, well, they're going to fill up your hazard protection or your life support. This one, you can see their toxic protection is now refilled. So yeah, that one's going to do my hazard protection, whereas the jade peas, they do my life support. So there we go, people. I think I've covered everything that I need to cover off on those two bars in these two videos. So that's your life support, people out there in the viewerverse. Until next time, goodbye, and goodbye again. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit a like and a subscribe. And I'd like to say a massive, great big thank you to all of my backers over on Patreon and over on YouTube membership. Thanking you, backers. And if you want to support this channel, just don't skip the adverts. That throws revenue down my avenue. Or yeah, just stay with Captain Steve a little bit longer and hit something on this screen. There's merch here now too.